Hello, and welcome to the Newlands Primary School Back to School Update Part 2. We hope all of our families have had a lovely summer holidays and you've been able to enjoy the sun when it has been out. But now it's time for us to start thinking about getting back to school and the changes that we're having to put in place for the time being due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In July, I outlined to you some of the changes that we would have to put into place. These changes have come about through rigorous risk assessment and through the guidance from the government. Now, we need to remember that each school has its own individual uniqueness, and because of that uniqueness, schools are having to put in place different things that will be just right for keeping their own school safe. That does mean that all the schools will not be doing things in exactly the same way, and that's okay. What's important is what we put in place to help keep you, your children, and all the staff safe here at Newlands. Now, we will outline to you lots of the things that we think you will be interested in knowing as we start the new school year. Before school. The key to infection control in school will be the limiting of illnesses coming into the school. Parents and carers need to be aware of the major symptoms of COVID-19, which are fever, new continuous cough, loss of taste and or smell. If your child or any member of your family has any of these symptoms, they and the entire family must self-isolate and take the COVID-19 test. If the test is positive, the entire family must stay in self-isolation for 14 days, and the person who is tested positive must self-isolate for 10 days. The test is negative, then self-isolation ends and children can return to school. If they do not have the test done, the family must remain in self-isolation for 14 days. If a child has been showing any illnesses between the time that they are collected and the end of the day, and before the start of the new school day, they should not attend school. This is important because there are some more infrequent symptoms of COVID-19. Runny nose, sore throat, congestion, reduced appetite, breathlessness, tiredness, fatigue, odd spots, rash on toes, conjunctivitis, diarrhea, nausea, muscle pain, rashes on the body, disorientation, or chills. Please contact the school immediately in the morning and support can be given for the appropriate steps to be taken, which may include remaining at home for 48 hours to monitor the symptoms or contacting the GP or emergency services for advice. Entering the school and exiting the school grounds. Some modifications have been made to support social distancing and keep the flow of people into and out of the school grounds as smooth as possible. The main car park from Wakefield Road. The narrow footpath that leads to the school entrance will not be accessible during drop-off and collection times. If you use the front entrance, you will have to come down the main drive and through the main car park gates. There will be a one-way walking system in place that allows for easy flow in and out of the school grounds. Between 9:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m., the school will be accessible in the normal way.
When you enter the main school gates through the carpark, stay to the right. Follow the arrows that you will see on the ground. That leads you past the gate to the right. This gate should only be entered by those have children in nursery. Continue following the path around until you get to the new gate at the end. When you leave, continue to follow the arrows as you go out of the school car park.
The gates near BMX track and Garth Avenue, they will be open as usual. We request that everyone proceed in and out of these gates with caution and observe social distancing. No parking in the school car parks. Parents and carers will not be able to park in either school car parks for the start or end of the school day. No bikes or scooters. Starting in September, bikes and scooters will not be allowed on school property until further notice. Drop-off and collection. Temperature checks. Initially, there will be temperature checks. They are quick and painless as we use an infrared thermometer which we point to the forehead and do not touch the person. If the temperature is 37.8 or above, they and any accompanying siblings are not allowed in school. They will be required to go home along with their siblings to take the COVID-19 test or self-isolate with the entire family for 14 days. If the test is taken and it is negative, they will be able to return to school as long as they do not have a fever or other illnesses. If a family or a child member begins with a persistent cough or loss of taste or smell, they will not be allowed in school and asked to self-isolate for 2 weeks unless the COVID-19 test is taken and comes back negative. If a child appears unwell or the parent says the child has been unwell, they will have to go home and self-isolate until GB can be consulted by the family and then discussed with the senior leadership team. Nursery. One parent or carer is to remain with the child on the designated social distancing markings on the front path along the nursery outdoor area gate. You are to wait for the staff to take temperatures and they will then go into the outdoor area with the second member of staff. Parents are to leave by following the path to the second car park and out of the school grounds. Reception to Year 2. One parent or carer is to remain with the child on the designated playground lines in the infant playground using social distancing markings and wait for the staff to take temperatures and then take them to class. Temperatures of children will be taken. Year 3 and 6. The child will stand on their designated playground using social distancing markings for their class and wait for the teacher to take their temperature and take them to class. Communication resource. Individual instructions have been given by Ms. Benson. If you need to confirm these details, please contact her on the 7th of September. Parent and carer contact with school. Parents, carers, and visitors will not be allowed into the school building without an appointment. This includes the need for a child to be given medication. Should you require assistance, we request that you do one of the following. Ring the school office on 01924 302 585 or on 07852 982323. Email the school office at newlands.wakefield.sch.uk, or contact the school teacher through the child's Tapestry account or the teacher's email. We request that you're patient, as all calls and emails can't be answered or acted upon immediately. If you do have an appointment or enter the school building, we require all adults to wear a face covering for the duration of their time in the building. Dinner money, forms, and letters. Dinner money is to be paid online using school money. Details were sent out in July. If you missed these details, please contact the school office. Forms and letters are to be sent by the class teacher. The school day. In order to maintain the highest degree of infection control within the school for the safety of the children and adults, the following will be in place from September. Staggered start and finish. There will be a staggered start and finish time in 2 designated groups. This has been predetermined and complex to ensure that siblings and families are within the same group. The information on your family start and finish times were sent out in July. If you have not received that information, please contact the school office on the 7th of September. Group 1. Start time is 8:30 a.m. and finish time 2:40 p.m. Group 2. Start time is 9 a.m. Finish time is 3 p.m. Note, nursery does not have a staggered start and finish time due to the small number of children in each session. Wednesday p.m. School will be closed to all children in reception to Year 6, except for nursery and communication resource for deep cleaning of all classroom resources. Children will have a packed lunch before they leave for the day. It is our hope that once we are able to combine the interaction of children from more than one class, we will be able to support a small provision of extracurricular activities to support families. Group 1 is to finish at 11:45 a.m. and Group 2 is to finish at 12:05 p.m. Children who are reluctant to enter school. The staff will not be able to provide any physical intervention except for the taking of a child's hand in extreme cases. We will encourage and ask parents to do the same. If the child continues to refuse, we will work with parents to come up with a solution that will help all involved. Maintaining social distance. No gatherings of parents or carers from different family groups at the entrance gates or on school grounds should be occurring. Class bubbles. Children will have to remain in the classroom and designated outdoor space for the duration of the day. They cannot mix with the groups of children from the other classes. There will be no sharing of staff outside of their bubble. Each class will have separate playtimes and lunch times. lunchtime. Due to the need to deep clean between dinner time settings, children will be offered and eat their packed lunches in the classroom 3 days a week and will go to the dinner hall for hot dinners 2 days a week. Universal free school meals will continue for all children in reception to year 2. Free school meals will continue for all children in years 3 to 6. Packed lunches from home will be allowed, but only in completely disposable containers and bags. Nothing will be allowed to go back home. Cleaning. There will be extra cleaning in the classroom surfaces and high traffic areas frequently through the day, in addition to the extra hand washing and use of hand sanitizer in extreme places that hand washing facilities is not available. Items from home. At this moment, children will not be allowed items from home. At this moment, children will only be allowed to bring a coat, hat, fresh filled water bottle to school, and pack lunch in completely disposable containers. No book bags, no PE kits, no pencil cases, no toys or other items. The children are not to use the cloakrooms to store coats except in Leeds and York class. These are to be placed on the back of their chairs at their designated areas. Reading books. Key Stage 1 reading. Books will be changed weekly on a Friday. Children will bring their books to school only on this day. This will allow for appropriate quarantining of books. Key Stage 2 reading. All Key Stage 2 classes will have a box of books within their classroom for children to choose their new book. When children are choosing a new book, they will follow a strict protocol of infection control, and there will also be an appropriate quarantining of books. Social distancing in the classroom. This will not be able to happen all the time due to the number of children and the size of the rooms. We are working to provide some outdoor provision spaces for each class to allow for greater ability to social distance. Physical contact between children and children and adults have to be kept to an absolute bare minimum. This will be difficult for adults who are teaching and children who frequently hold hands, hug, play in close physical proximity, comfort, and care for each other. We will encourage children to follow the no touching rule as much as is developmentally appropriate. And at times, we will still need to provide comfort and care. When this does happen, we will be ensuring frequent washing of hands to minimize the spread of the infection. Staff face shields and face coverings. Children will be encouraged to keep a 2-meter distance from adults. However, we realize this will not always be possible, and adults may be wearing face shields and face coverings and will have to limit their close contact of 1 meter or less to less than 15 minutes to support their protection and the protection of the children.
Here's some pictures of examples of face coverings the staff may wear or the face shields the staff may wear.
Children face coverings. Children will be allowed face coverings, but they must be used appropriately. Staff will support the teaching in the use of the face coverings, but we encourage that you practice this with your child before coming to school with one. Before putting on and removing the mask, they must wash their hands. They will require a small resealable bag to put it in at times, that are not being used, and they must be taken home each night and a fresh one used the next day. If you're concerned that your child's mask will fall off and get dirty, we encourage the use of a simple dummy clip that easily fastens to the mask and can be clipped on directly to the child's shirt.
Here are some examples of some dummy clips. You can see it has a gator clip on one end and a loop on the other that is looped around the elastic of the face mask.
Resources. Each child will have their own labeled set of resources. They are not to share these resources with anyone else and are responsible for keeping their resources tidy. There will be some resources, such as maths manipulatives, that may be shared in the classroom. However, these will be frequently deep cleaned between usage. Learning. We know that many families are worried about the learning that may have been missed by their child or children during the lockdown. Teachers have been discussing classes and children with each other, and we will start from where we left off in March. They have been preparing the curriculum and lessons to maximize and accelerate learning time. Please do not worry. This is what we do. And we have an amazing team of skilled teachers and teaching assistants to make that happen. They will have some lessons that involve a lot of independent learning. The teacher and teaching assistants will encourage this independence to support social distancing as much as possible. Physical contact between children and adults have to be kept to an absolute bare minimum, as mentioned before. And as we mentioned before, this will be difficult for both adults and the children because they frequently hold hands, they hug, they play in close proximity, they comfort and they care for each other. School behavior. The school behavior policy remains in effect with an addition due to COVID-19. Parents and carers will be contacted should a child be seen to intentionally be putting other children and staff in danger of infection. Uniforms. We recognize that there may be some difficulty in purchasing all the appropriate school uniforms for various reasons. We will be flexible in September and would like to ask the following: fresh, clean clothes every day. For both the safety of your family as well as the school community, we request that children come to school in fresh, clean clothes every day. We recommend that when a child arrives home from school, they immediately remove their clothes, put them in the wash, and take a quick shower. This will help to prevent the transport of the virus into your home. Ensure that the clothes your child wears to school provides the appropriate warmth and protection that meets the needs for the day's temperatures and weather. PE kits. Children will not be changing into PE kits as we start in September. We request that your child wear an appropriate PE kit on their PE days. This will be identified by the teacher at the start of the year. PE kits are red polo shirt and black jumper for the cold days, black shorts or black tracksuit bottoms, and appropriate outdoor shoes for sports and activities. Outdoor learning. We will be taking our learning outdoors as much as possible this next year. This means that children need to be dressed appropriately with warm, waterproof jackets and sturdy shoes. Breakfast club and after-school clubs. There will not be any breakfast or after-school clubs as we start school, as we will not be able to keep with the class bubbles due to staffing. This will constantly be reviewed, and as soon as we can, we will let you know when this will restart. Playtimes and PE. Children will not be allowed any contact sports in September. This includes football, rugby, TIG, and a few more. Socially distancing games will be taught and encouraged. Outside school activities. Parents need to consider the activities children do outside of school. Each one of the contacts they make outside of the school can impact infection control in the school as well as risk to your family. Children of all primary ages, including year 6, should always have adult supervision when playing out or with other children in order to support social distancing. It is our goal here at Newlands to not have to close not even one class. If an infection has been identified, those things may happen. A class bubble may have to close, or the entire school may have to close. It's not what we want to do. We know that if we all work together, we can minimize that from happening. And we know that we have a wonderful school community here and that we work well together. We look forward to seeing everyone here at school and having another fantastic school year. Remember, we go back to school for children in years 1 to year 6 on Wednesday, the 9th of September, which is a half day. Children in nursery and reception have a staggered start, which has been identified by their class teachers. If you're unsure of this information or need more clarification, please contact the school office as of the 7th of September. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing everyone.